Hi everyone, I'm making this video today just to kind of show you a resource that I've been using in my classroom daily as well as Anne-Marie, and it is called FrontRow. FrontRow is both ELA and math-based. It's adaptive practice, which means that it gets progressively harder as students progress through the standards. What I'm first going to show you is kind of the student view of what it looks like to sign in to FrontRow. So I'm signing in as test kiddo. I made this student with my class code. This class code is unique. Only my students have this. If you wanted to sign in as test kiddo to take a peek at yourself, you're more than welcome. When you're logging in, this is the screen that they see. This piggy right here is their avatar. They get to decorate it and buy clothes for it and outfits and little fun add-ons with the coins that they earn by answering questions and doing assignments and things like that. So first thing we're going to take a look at is math. One thing that I really like about FrontRow is that they break it up into standard domains. So right now we are working in counting and operations in Go Math. So this is what I have my students working on. Eventually we will be getting into fractions. Then I will have them work in that standard domain. Fact practice is pretty fun for them. They fill it out, they get a bunch of coins. So that was one thing that was a huge hit amongst my kiddos. So when they're in math, what they can do is after they take the diagnostic, they can go into the standard. And right now, my lesson is subtract within 5. And this is typically what a lesson will look like. Some features are that they can write to draw pictures. They can move that picture around, or they can take the numbers and drag and drop to solve the problem. Obviously, the eraser is there to erase, and if you want to scratch the whole thing, then you can just put it in the trash can. Another thing that I find is really helpful is the manipulatives that they offer. So if you wanted to use a number line, you can drag and drop and create a number line to figure out what 4 plus 0 is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. If a student was struggling with the question, there is a video walkthrough that helps them see how somebody solves a problem similar to what they have. Another feature that they have is offering classmates who have successfully completed this lesson. So if I fill in the blanks, 4 plus 0 equals 4. I click enter, and that is correct, and I earn coins. Fill in the blank, 2 plus 3 equals blank. If for some reason I am a younger student and I'm unable to read this sort of problem, it does have a option where you can have somebody read through the problem. So this is what it sounds like.
Fill in the blank. 2 plus 3 equals blank.
This would be a really great feature, especially for the primary kids and with the word problems, the multi-step word problems. Is really something I think students should utilize. So if I go back to FrontRow, yes, I want to exit. I can then see what reading looks like. So for reading, they have articles here, and these are all of the articles I have assigned to my kids. This ELA writing assignments is something kind of new. I haven't touched on too much. The kids have done it, but I really haven't looked too much into it. I know that they type an answer to a question that pertains to the article that I did assign. So if I just take a look at All About Golf, the article is on the left side, and they do have to scroll through on the left side to read the article. And on the right side, there are the questions, and you must scroll through those as well. And this is very similar to the air testing where you have to scroll through the article on one side and scroll through the questions on the other side. Now, if I were to go to the teacher side of things, this would be my dashboard, so to speak. Mathematics is assignments where I can assign students a specific standard. Each student gets the same questions at the same level, same standard, and so on and so forth. As you can see, this was a standard that I assigned all of my students of basic multiplication. This is a different part of FrontRow that is not adaptive. So if I wanted to go back to the adaptive part and to see all of the results, I could go to sessions. And sessions is going to look a little bit funky because I haven't had anybody sign on this week yet. So I obviously signed on. I answered 4 questions with 75% accuracy. And this was in the adaptive practice. If I were to assign somebody something, this is where I would see their results. It would show me the questions that were asked and how they responded and all of the data that goes along with that. The only downside to FrontRow is that the free edition, you cannot see past weeks. So you have to have a school edition to access past data. So it will show you a week's worth at a time, but you're able to print it out and keep it for your own records. So that's how you see the individual practice reports for math. Group lessons are more project-based learning. It gives you all of the materials that you might need. It's going to show us a video, but you can look at that at your own time. And with it being free, there are some free lessons, and then obviously they want you to buy the school edition so you can have access to all of those lessons. The last part is assessments. This is similar to the assignments. However, it's a little bit more lengthier. You can pick multiple standards that you want to assess them on, and you can choose who you want to assess and on what standards specifically. Now for English language arts, I can assign articles. So what we were looking at in the student view is we saw all about golf. So these are all of the articles that are available in FrontRow. This is a really, really great nonfiction resource, and it replicates the air test very well with kind of navigating through the text in the question. So if I'm working on summarizing and main ideas, it will show me a list of articles that would be available that kind of hone in on that type of skill. And if my students are really into sports, we could say, okay, Stanley Cup, let's assign it. So there are 5 different grade levels that I could assign this at depending on how the students progress through their diagnostic. Now, there is an option where I can manually assign this to each student if I feel that they didn't do well in their diagnostic. They don't have to automatically get the grade level that FrontRow wants to assign them. So if I have a student that maybe says, oh, they're reading at 4.2 grade level, but in reality, I know that they could read at a 6.4, I could obviously assign that for them as well. And you can see the differences here between the grade levels, which is pretty significant at some points, but I believe that it's a great tool to use to differentiate your reading. So how I would see what the students are doing is through the student activity. So where it says selected by teacher, this is everything that I have assigned, the type that I have because there is writing now, and the grade levels that were assigned. So I at least one student reading at a 4.7 grade level, and then I had one student reading at a 1.6 grade level. And I can look at those reports and see which answers they got correct, which answers they got wrong, and their actual answers that they selected. Something that's a kind of a new feature for Front Row in reading is that a student can select specific articles that they want to read. So this student selected donuts, and this was the grade level that was assigned. And you can see that she did very well on that one. So that's about it for Front Row. I know that was very, very super quick. If you have any questions, please let me know. Shoot me an email. I will attach some of the directions that they have posted for you on Front Row. So right now, like, you can become a teaching champion, which is kind of an incentive for teachers to talk about Front Row, get other teachers involved. So what you need to do are these specific things. And if you refer me, then I get more points and I can become a Front Row coach. And then I get 1 month of premium dashboard features for our entire school. So that's kind of a nice incentive to use those school types of features. Like I said in the beginning, Front Row can be accessed through Google Chrome or as an app. It's all free. So that's that. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email. I will respond to you as soon as I can. And like I said, I'll attach some extra videos and different things that go along with Front Row to help you get started. Thank you for watching.